Okay, this is part 4. This is the final part of chapter 5. So, how do we improve our nonverbal communication? We are going to look at how we send nonverbal messages and how we interpret the nonverbal messages of others. So, when you're sending nonverbal messages, monitor what you're doing. Okay, are your gestures consistent with the message that you want to deliver? And that's all of those things that we talked about, in terms of your physical space, the artifacts that you have. Monitor all of that and make sure that you're aligned with the purpose. That if you want to convey that you are so sorry that someone just lost their job, a nonverbal hug might be appropriate. Make sure that it is appropriate for the message that you want to deliver. And make sure that you adapt to the situation, okay? Because things can change quickly. And you want to reduce distracting nonverbal messages. So again, record yourself. And if I spent this whole video fooling with my hair, well, that's really distracting for you as the observer, as the viewer. So just try to reduce some of those distracting nonverbal messages. That also applies to the verbal fillers like ums and ahs. So a few are okay, but if there's too many, reduce them. So be mindful of the distracting nonverbal messages you display. What is this guy saying by his nonverbals? What do you think he's saying to her? Well, they're shopping, right? And he's saying, I am not interested in shopping. I've got other things on my mind. I'd rather be checking text messages than helping you pick something out. So his nonverbal messages, at least to me, are pretty clear. Okay, when you interpret nonverbal messages, keep in mind that, as we mentioned, that gestures can mean different things to different people. So just be aware that if somebody is doing something, if somebody's like, for example, one of those close talkers, and they're right in your face when they're talking to you, what does that mean to them? Why are they doing that? Is it a cultural thing, or just, maybe that's what they did in their family? So just be aware that they mean different things to different people. And then consider the nonverbal message in the entire context of that conversation. Pay attention to both the nonverbals and the verbals. So if someone is telling you that, they're using words and they're saying, I love you, but what if they said, I love you? What are the nonverbals saying? How does that work, coincide with the verbal message? So look to see that those two are jiving so that you make sure that you are getting that message that the sender is trying to relay. And then use perception checking. We learned about that in chapter 2, right? So if you're not clear what that gesture is, use the perception checking exercise to get clarification. What you do, speak so loud that I cannot hear what you say. And I think that is really, really true. So if your nonverbals are communicating something that is in direct opposite to what your words are saying, which do you think is going to ring the most true? Probably the nonverbals. Okay, and that is the end of part 4 and the end of chapter 5. Thanks.